everybody.
What's up, guys? Welcome, nerds around the world. We're here at the GSL Code S, and we are about to be introducing our players. We just saw one move that was on camera. Back to his starting position before he goes and enters that booth.
False start, Tasteless.
What?
False start.
False start.
You tuned in here not knowing who's going to play today. I guess you know Lenok's going to be one of them.
Saw Lenok moving around there. So we just got done with our first half of today's games. It was really a lot of fun. The players played really well.
Yeah, it was a little bit upsetting for me.
You want to talk about it?
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm here for you. I'm a good friend.
It seems like Marine King just doesn't have a grasp on the importance of siege tanks. Truly, it's like kind of sad to see. I think what it was is he's like, well, I can get away with this against the very standard siege tank timing that comes out of people, but Alive gave him every hint he needed for his style. If he had not heard anything from other people who have played with him and practiced with him and stuff like that, which, believe me, you do when you prepare for a match like this. Everyone you're talking to, your friends are going to tell you when they played him on ladder and stuff, when they've practiced with him, when their friends practice with him, stuff like that. You're going to get inklings that he likes siege tanks, and that's what you have to look for when you're going to try one of these Marine Heavy styles. So it's upsetting to see that because, I mean, people love Marine King so much. I want to see him do well. Marine King's a great guy. He's a great player, but his understanding of some situations and how to gain information and use that information to win is, at least in this case, very suboptimal.
You know, I totally agree with everything you just said. I don't know why. It's like he's like, I don't know, man. I'm very comfortable making Marines. Let's just try it again this time. And here's a strategy you almost never want to use, especially when it goes into late game, is the one where you hope that your opponent is just going to make a mistake. If Alive had moved out with his whole army and he had maybe 120 supply, Marine King would have stimmed, ran up, and killed it. Alive didn't do that, okay? Alive just waited there, and I don't know. I mean, there wasn't even much to cast during that game except for a few drops.
Yeah.
The rest of the games are great.
And most of it was Alive's drops because Alive defended everything.
Staying active.
He's like, well, I'm making siege tanks, so I'll just defend until it's time to kill you because you're not making enough.
I hope to see Marine King turn this around, but right now I am thoroughly
he's going to have to come through a long way in Code A, man. He's going in the round of 32 Code A. He has to get pretty darn high to get in those up and downs, and then he has to do well in the up and downs.
He's in the wood chipper or whatever we call it. I mean, he's
the wood chipper.
He's in the wood chipper.
He's in the pro gamer wood chipper.
That's what Code A is. It's the wood chipper. I just coined it right now. It should be called Code
and
W.
Code. That's the new Code A. Is the wood
there's
chipper.
a mosquito about to bite you. Hold still. Hold still. Oh, you just killed him on TV.
Got him.
You and Obama. Did you see the video where Obama killed the fly?
Yeah, dude. Oh, my God. He already bit me.
Oh, my God.
He already got me on my wrist.
Dude, I'm having a mosquito problem right now in my house. Like sometimes I'm sleeping and I sleep with the blanket over me like this because I like to stay warm. And I can hear the mosquito going into my ear.
Oh, I hate that.
It's going in my ear.
It's the worst thing in the world.
We're going to introduce the players now. GanZI, Ensnare, Lenok, and Pult. Excuse me, and Pult. So here they are now. Take it all in, guys.
GanZI and Ensnare. Well, GanZI did really well last season. And Ensnare is someone that just won't go away, man. He's like, no, I'm Code S forever. And I'm like, all right, Ensnare, it's fine. You're Code S forever, all right?
Oh, and here comes Lenok and Pult. Lenok, by far, our youngest player here. Well, no, I mean, I guess
actually Creator finally made it into
I'm so used to saying that he's the youngest, but yeah.
Well, it was Creator's first time he just qualified, so that's fine. But yeah, Lenok very young, going up against Pult, who is
of Lenok.
Oh, I think everyone is.
Everybody is. He's so young.
Actually,
he's still in school and he's doing this. I don't even understand how that's possible. Especially in Korean school, you have to work so hard in Korean school.
It's crazy, man.
It's not like
Maybe
American
he's failing
school.
Out.
In American school, I just slept all day. Okay.
Yeah, I did too. Actually.
All day. I front of the class,
I got terrible
head on the
grades
desk. Yeah, of course. That's why we're not in college right now. We're casting Starcraft. No, but seriously, I mean, Korean school, you have to work your ass off. You have to work really hard. So for him to be here and doing this, it's really impressive.
You know, I'm so angry.
You're about that mosquito bite, aren't you?
And I'm like starting to feel itchy everywhere. It's like bugs are crawling. I'm like, Tasteless, I'm freaking out, man.
You're like in a drug withdrawal or something. No, I've had a serious mosquito problem as of late.
No, it's terrible.
Because the weather's changing, so all the mosquitoes have now moved inside. It's like the Zerg are taking
they need
over. Mosquitoes, Zerg, they're the same thing.
That's actually what Zerg should get is mosquitoes.
They should get mosquitoes. Infested mosquitoes.
Mosquitoes kill more
infested
people
mosquito
than
bites
anything,
make
man.
it creep. I'm like, it itches everywhere now.
Brings down morale at least.
At least. Can't sleep. No, seriously, sickest mosquito flying in my ear. And then as the mosquito flies in my ear as I'm sleeping, I actually smack my face as I think it's on my face.
You never catch them.
Then I've just hit my face.
Yeah.
This happened like 5 times last night. I did not sleep well last night. I was actually punching my head all night trying to get this thing.
This is the mosquito's version of that jerky guy in school who grabs your arms and makes you hit yourself. He's like, why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself? I'm like, I'm not hitting myself. You're making me do it.
Yes. That is exactly what it's like. So our first match here is actually, let's see here. Who is playing first? It's GanZI and Ensnare, right? Yeah.
Ensnare.
So that's going to be a pretty good TVT. Ensnare is one of these players who was top dog early on in Starcraft 1.
In the beta. He and
Starcraft 2, excuse me, early on in the beta.
He and Maka were like battling nonstop for best Terran. And I mean, he actually got a little bit better land results. I think Maka had a little bit better online. It was very close between the two, but
I think Ensnare was number 1 on the ladder for a while. Like overall.
Oh, I'm sure he was.
In Korea, he was ranked number 1.
Yeah.
But now I think he's, I wouldn't say sunk, but he's just sort of turned into this solid Terran, but he's not. He's overshadowed by MVP, even Marine King. I feel like overshadows
Certainly.
him.
Well, he's someone we never actually think of. We never think of Ensnare.
Honestly,
he comes up.
I always forget that Ensnare is even in the tournament until I see him. Here that day, I'm like, oh god, that's right, it's Ensnare.
It's actually Polarius sent me a stat about him. He's like one of the only people that's always been in Code S.
Yeah, he's really good.
It's like the only people that. Okay, only Clyde and Nada never went to up and down matches, and only those two, and I think it's Nesty and Ensnare have never been in Code A. Something like that. It's like this really weird, like, why is Ensnare's name there too? And it's like, well, he's actually anomaly. He's solid. He's just solid, and he doesn't go away.
So that would mean if he doesn't get out of this group today, it's a pretty big deal. You know.
Well, I don't think he ever gets out of the group. I think he's like around a 32 guy.
No, but I mean, if he were like to sink out of it, is what I mean. You know what I mean? If he were to drop down to Code A or something.
Yeah, no, that would be
a big.
And that definitely could happen, man. To tell you the truth, when I look at this group, I put him as the worst player in the group. I say it easily and without regret. And the thing is, he's so solid, he's so good. But GanZI had a kick-ass season. Leenock is Leenock. And, well, Polt is a champion. So it's hard to see Ensnare coming out of this.
Polt should get out of the group.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. He's really good.
I'm feeling GanZI in this group.
Every game, TVT, Polt kills the guy in like 10 minutes. He's the only guy who kills Terrans really quickly in TVT. He's got a solid style. We just talked to Coach Lee backstage. He says he's in good shape.
Yep.
So,
you know what? I'm feeling GanZI. I think GanZI's going to win the group. He's really, really solid. GanZI basically, we saw him do so well last season. His TVT is actually pretty good, and his TVZ is off the hook. So I really feel like no matter who he hits, because as you said, Polt kills Terrans really quick, but personally, he's such a micro-based player, and he's one that can make it work.
Because he's from Warcraft.
Normally, micro-based players fall away quicker than other players because it's like, well, eventually everyone's going to learn how to control units well and well enough.
It's all you're doing
and then have a better economy than you and controlling just slightly worse than you unless you're rushing them. It's like, you're dead. But Polt's making it work, but that style against a macro-heavy player like GanZI, who's, he's got good strategies, he's got great macro. I don't know. I'm feeling it for GanZI, this group. Feeling him in first.
I would not predict that. I'm actually really surprised you said that.
Wow.
I don't know.
You stare me down. You push me.
I'm like, what are you doing? I take your mic and turn it up.
Wow.
So, guys, be sure to check out Arena of Legends. It's going to be coming up very soon. In fact, if it's past 7 now, it's 8:12 here. So the website for it should be up. We're taking some of the best and brightest players and putting them together, making them duke it out.
My eye itches.
It should be a lot of fun. That happens sometimes when you're on camera.
Yeah, no, and the camera's on too long. I'm
you're like,
at this.
You
I'm like,
in your eye, you're like,
they're not ready yet. I have to itch my eye on camera.
That's what you got to do.
Normally, I just hold it.
I've been having to drink my hot water on camera because my throat's a little sore today. Look, I think the Arena Legends thing is going to be a lot of fun. I would encourage you guys to check it out. I think it's great that GOM is making these additional tournaments. That way, you can pick which tournaments you want to see. There's some people that prefer to watch Team League, some people that watch just Code S. Arena of Legends is going to be a lot of fun. And I know that for many of you guys at home, for instance, some of you are probably just in the office. You're in the office all day. what better way than to spend time watching StarCraft 2 while you get your work done?
Those
and
invoices
that way you can have
be
that
done
stuff.
later.
You don't need
that memo that you're supposed to type for your boss.
You don't
watch
need it.
GSL.
Watch GSL.
Tell him that you sent it. You're not sure why it didn't get there.
Yeah.
Ask him for his email address.
Be like, no,
again.
I sent it. Make him look dumb. All right, here's GanZI. And it looks like we're getting closer to getting this game started. The players did request a little bit of extra time to prepare, which of course we will give them.
GanZI is becoming handsomer.
Yeah, he's
handsomer
good.
than last season, I have to say.
Yeah, there's something about his looks today.
Yeah,
I can't put my finger on it.
Yeah,
he's looking sharp, though.
He is. He really is.
Well, it's been a year or so since we've gotten to see these players get older.
That's actually true. Like, what's so funny is, like, I've watched Starcraft, professional Starcraft, since actually its very birth. I saw the first games on TV in Korea. And I've watched all these players grow up, and I'm sure you have as well. And I look back, and, like, it's hard to notice because I've seen them, like, every week. I've seen all the big ones over and over and over, and no one disappears. And if they do disappear, they don't come back. So it's like, I watched Nada grow up from a little kid into like a giant, muscly guy, and it's like, what the hell? And then I watched myself grow up, and I grew up from this little kid into this, like, scrawny nerd, like, older guy, and I'm like, why don't I have muscles like Nada? There's more mosquitoes in here.
Oh, get that mosquito. Ah, got away. We've actually been attacked by mosquitoes here all day. All right, so Ensnare, his opponent, also looking pretty good.
Yeah, he's a good-looking guy.
Sharp-looking guy, solid Terran player.
I like that pattern on the OGS shirt.
You like it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not bad, actually. Now I take it in. Wear that to the club, Artosis. Laid, no problem. Now here we have a Slayers player against an OGS player. Obviously, they're different teammates. They're going to be a familiar somewhat with each other's style, but they haven't probably been able to play other than maybe a few ladder games here and there against each other. So there can be some unpredictable stuff. Ensnare has definitely had a lot of TV time, and a lot of replays have been downloaded since he was really well known since the beginning.
But don't forget that GanZI is a StarCraft 1 pro, so he's got a good amount of that as well. August, Code A champion. October, Code S round of 4, Slayers GanZI. Can OGS Ensnare defeat him and become the King of Survival? And that's actually true. He would become King of Survival if he actually makes it in a round of 16 or something like that.
All right, it's time. The game is loaded. GanZI against Ensnare. Our first game in the second half of today's sets here at the GSL Code S. I'm Tasteless. With me is Artosis. We're here at GOMTV, based in Seoul, Korea, casting our favorite game, Starcraft 2. It's one of my outros I haven't done yet, Artosis. Over here in the upper left, on the map, Belshire Beach, the winter version of Belshire Beach, we have, whenever I hear his name, I think of the Muppet Gonzo, but that's not,
Slayers GanZI.
It's not related. GanZI. Probably would be better than the Muppet Gonzo at StarCraft 2.
I wonder if Gonzo could use his nose to hit some of the hotkeys.
Maybe, actually.
Because it just turns down just so well.
Over here in the color of Gonzo, we have
OGS Ensnare.
Like, for instance, he could use his nose to hit the big enter key and then hit GG with his left hand and hit enter again. That's how you could say GG.
Well, the truth actually is, Artosis, I've already figured this out. Oh, nice. Look, he's got his teeth sparkling and everything. Now, the truth is, Artosis, the only Muppet that would be good at StarCraft 2 would be Cookie Monster. Because have you seen his hands? Cookie Monster and Oscar the Grouch. Because they actually, if you look at their hands, they actually have more appendages. Like Kermit, Kermit's in Bronze League, okay?
Beaker is really good at StarCraft 2.
No, man, you're just saying that because when you frown, you look like Beaker. All right, we have the barracks almost done. And it looks so far like a very standard Terran versus Terran game so far.
I've talked to people about what Muppet would Nick be? What Muppet would
what
Tasteless
Muppet
be?
would I be?
And we've settled, JP and I settled upon Oscar the Grouch.
Why? Because I live in a trash can?
Yeah, man. You two kind of look the same, too. You got these big, bushy eyebrows. You always are wearing a trash can as your hat, like a trash lid.
Is that it?
You have the same voice.
Do me and Oscar have the same voice? Oscar can't cast StarCraft. I always thought we could. Be Bert and Ernie.
Well, you can't cast Trashcraft, so there.
Trashcraft?
Yeah. No, not Warcraft. That's not what I meant.
Now, the command center, about 1/3 of the way complete here for GanZI. And we're seeing very similar builds here for these guys. And this is really popular on the Korean server, this Terran versus Terran build. It's great, especially on maps where you don't have a ramp. Just go ahead and get that expansion up, especially if you're far away from your opponent, because, and this is a problem most people on the other servers have, or in the meta game that you'll see, because there are too many people that rush, is that people are trying to end the game too soon. You can actually do a pretty good opener and survive anything, and then win in the mid game and the late game.
Absolutely.
And that's probably the way you should approach the game.
Well, that's the way that eventually the game will be approached. You know, there's still so much growth to be had in StarCraft 2-player skill and a game understanding. So, you know, we'll see that more and more. You notice that over the seasons, the game length gets longer and longer and longer.
Yeah.
Because people figure out that, hey, actually, you shouldn't be able to kill your opponent early on. Every now and then you need to, but that's just something mixed in so that you aren't predictable. Well, we'd have a proxy starport for Ensnare. I like the choice. Probably go right up to Banshee and just have a really quick random Banshee rally. See how much you can pick off with that.
Yeah, Banshees, I don't think they're ever going to go away in StarCraft 2 TBT. They're just so strong.
Of course.
They could steer the tide of the game way too much. Your Banshee might not get in there and do any damage, but if it does, it can kill a dozen SCVs.
Well, you know, one of the beautiful things about Banshee as well, especially when you're going for every Terran build, basically, every long game Terran build, you need a starport for. Whether it's medevacs for your Marines, whether it's for drop ships, or well, obviously that is a medevac, but like it drops for a Hellion or something like that, anything like that. But that's why a Banshee's so nice. You can tech right up into your full tech tree, and then also harass with it. And that's a beautiful thing, Tasteless, to be able to harass, and then you've already got your entire tech tree laid out, and it didn't cost you anything to tech up all the way because you're harassing.
Yeah, and you can even use one of your barracks to make that reactor and swap that over there when you're going to start making the medevacs too. It's nice because you're just harassing. They're not going to leave their base. Now we have Siege Tank on the way. Again, a very passive opener from both of these guys. And a very good opener at that, too.
Well, we do have Banshee still making. And not getting any upgrades. Similar counts on everything right now. GanZI does have 11 Marines and a medevac, so he should be able to hold on without losing too much here. He should only lose a couple of SCVs. But no, actually, his Marines are in the middle of the map, Tasteless. So this could be a little bit annoying.
GanZI's going to take some heavy hits here from the proxy starport here. And he's not even turning around, so let me tell you something right now. GanZI is going to lose a lot of SCVs.
Yeah, he's actually, I cannot believe he's choosing to do this.
Well, this is all or nothing.
Like an
just send your SCVs right now.
Well, he's skipping the bunker, so that's good. We'll see, can he hold on? And Ensnare has siege mode already. And he's done a ton of damage. He's killed 8 SCVs. Absolutely insane. GanZI now gonna have to pick up and get out of there. Ensnare with a perfect defense. And in fact, he's gonna kill the siege tanks.
He can even
shoot
down the medevac.
GanZI is so far behind right now. This is actually, I cannot believe that these were his choices after I just talked him up and said I thought he'd win the group, making me look bad, GanZI. I cannot believe that's your choice. Ah!
You're gonna lose your job now, Artosis.
I guess
You're gonna get fired.
Well,
now we have more factories here, and I like it. Mech. There you go. And Ensnare knows how to play the game.
Well, there you go, for sure. Seriously, it's a beautiful thing to see. I'm feeling Ensnare as long as he doesn't get out of position, man. He's already killed a lot of SCVs. He's in a good spot. But I'm surprised he's going to let this Viking
Yeah, he's not going to cancel that. I was about to say.
Oh, and GanZI wasn't ready. These Vikings could have been placed a little bit better than that.
GanZI seems a little bit off today.
He does. He does seem a bit off. Maybe it's how handsome he looks.
I know he's like so good looking right now that it's messing with his game.
You know, TLO would have built a barracks next to that and stolen it.
Yeah.
At Tech Lab.
Actually, that's
what
true.
he would have done.
Well, TLO's a smart player. I still enjoy watching his games.
Of course. He's a fun guy. GanZI right now is actually getting siege mode. Just continue to pump some Marines as well. No Marine upgrades yet, though. And no additional production facilities. So we still don't know exactly what GanZI wants to do. He's going to throw down a couple barracks. In the meantime, he is moving down with a very sizable force.
And he's going to drop again over here into the main.
Ooh, I like this. The drop could draw too many units away, but the siege tank very well placed there. Nice drop location, and bam, the siege tank makes him pick up.
And he is forcing the army to relocate, so the Hellions are going to come over here. And I don't know if we're going to see an attack in the front, but it does look like GanZI may have a light contain here.
He's going to use those Vikings.
With that.
Ooh,
go ahead.
Very nice. GanZI going to kill off one siege tank. Ensnare's got to be careful about this.
Talking about scanning too late.
Remember, he lost his starport. So this is a hard situation because he cannot have air dominance. He has no air units. GanZI has a bunch of Vikings. So there's no way for him to really gain air dominance right now. He's just going to have to bust out of there. And for that, against all those Marines and siege tanks, he's got to bring a line. Here he goes. He's got to target, though. Don't attack the siege tanks with those Hellions. Attack the Marines.
Oh, man. Well, he could have killed this off a lot more neatly, but he did kill it off nonetheless.
Indeed, he did. Dropping the Vikings on the siege tanks. Pretty smart little move, but doesn't get to kill them.
And, of course, he could just repair that now. GanZI really failing to impress.
But his supply is still up there. 88 to 93. That's, you would think he'd be much further behind. And, in fact, he's ahead in SCVs. So, Ensnare definitely weird. Not macroing his SCVs as well as he could. 59 SCVs to 47.
There must be something else then going on at home with Ensnare. He must not be making SCVs as quickly as he's supposed to, or they're not incrementing out as easily. But note, Ensnare is investing into the late game.
Yeah.
A lot of factories getting that additional command center. When the players do max out, Ensnare will have a very scary army.
Absolutely. He's just got to be careful not to get out of position. He's got to take additional bases, and he's got to turtle up. He's making that command center for his third base. And where's the starport? Okay, he finally does start a starport. He's in fact getting 2 armories, which is pretty crazy. We don't often see 2 armories upgrading in this matchup, even with mech. But, I wonder if Ensnare will make one of these mistakes we see so many mech players make, where...
Push out too soon?
Yeah, he's at like 160. He's like, all right, LOL, I think I'll go. That is exactly what he needs to not do. He needs to take his third base, turtle up like a madman, max out, and really come out with a lot of vigor.
Vigor, indeed.
Yes, that's the word.
We haven't used vigor in a while.
No, you need to.
We need to bring it back. Let's bring that word back.
It's brought back, Tasteless. And, this is going
to be ugly. Yeah, I mean, he's going to lose all those Marines. They're going to die simply to the Blue Flame Hellions. Now he backs off just at the last second, losing 1 Hellion. Although I'm actually surprised Ensnare's on the map right now at all.
Well, I think he's just trying to get in position to take that third base. Wherever it is he wants to take it. Looks like he wants to take it what used to be the gold and now it no longer is.
Uh-oh, guess what's good against Hellions?
Oh my god, and he's just going to go for it. There are Marauders in here, so he's got to be careful about that. Especially if, his Hellions all die, and now he's just going to lose everything.
Yeah, Marauders are pretty good against mech stuff. Uh-oh. Guess what you can't shoot at Siege Tank? Well, he's just not going to win Siege?
Now he's fine.
He's like, it doesn't hurt. All right, it hurts. I lied. Whoop.
Picked up. Smart move. Ensnare right now in a little bit of trouble. He's got to lift that off. Very painful to do so. He's lost a lot of his siege tanks, though. You cannot be doing things like that. And, I like this move by GanZI, dropping in the main base, abusing the fact that Ensnare is going max.
And this is pretty good right now. He's stimming, moving here, taking out a lot of SCVs. Some mistakes from both sides, but an interesting game. GanZI now at 129 to 102 for Ensnare.
Yeah, he's really beginning to get his macro flowing. He's got that third base up already, and Ensnare is just, he's going to lose a few more units there, but he just keeps moving out, and it makes no sense. You're not supposed to move out with mech. You really have to turtle on 3 bases and max out. That's the way you have to do it. It's the way the game works. But he has not been able to do that quite yet. finally looks like he is going to try for that. But is GanZI too far ahead?
The barracks goes down, so no more factories to be made for a little bit. Nice panning shot here from our observer of Ensnare's base. Ensnare, again, he should never have moved out with that army. He should have gone into position and stayed there. He went all the way up to the Zelnaga Watchtower, the upper right, controlled that for a little bit with his mech army. And that's the weird thing about mech, is you have to be okay turtling.
Yes.
And for those of you who don't know what turtling is, that's where you behave like a turtle. If they get close to you, what do? You go in your shell.
Yeah. In fact, you're in your shell.
Yeah, you
can do some harassment and stuff.
You can come out and bite him on the toe with your little turtle mouth and go back to the shell.
Right. You got, dude, some turtles will take your toe right off.
Yeah.
Clean off your body. Snapping turtles, you kidding me? You don't play around with those tasteless.
No, you don't. When they're trying to, are they the ones that bury their eggs in the sand on the side of the ocean?
No, that's like a completely different turtle.
What kind of turtle is that?
I don't know.
All right, never mind. We don't care about turtles anymore because that's definitely not what Ensnare is doing.
Yeah, he's out in the middle of the map.
And again, these are more siege tank slots. See, guys, this is why mech is good, but you're not supposed to attack until you're like at 170 supply.
Well, he's literally sitting in the middle of the map getting flanked and run over by someone with more supply than him because he's already done it more than once. He's actually just throwing away mech armies.
Right now, Ensnare is the kid that keeps touching the hot stove.
Yeah, this is like, I don't know how else to really explain it. He's making like every single mistake with mech, basically.
Yeah.
And he's obviously going to die because of that. There's no way GanZI's going to lose from here, I think. You know, he's going to take out this base pretty
he's
easily.
going to repair this in time. All right, we have a drop over here. Hellion drop.
SCVs line up, but the Hellions do not follow.
Scans littering the map. And he may go for a drop on top.
Yeah.
Nope, he's going to go for a drop behind. I think he's going to drop on the siege tanks. Excuse me. Let's check that. If I can come over here, Artosis. Excuse me. It is 72 SCVs for GanZI, 65 for Ensnare.
Oh, another little drop right here for GanZI, just picking off what he can. Ooh, nice Hellion drop right here. Trying to take out as many SCVs as possible. Of course, those medvacs trying to heal whatever they can. SCV counts very close now. GanZI is 64 against 66 of Ensnare. And finally, Ensnare will clean up these siege tanks.
Supply 155 for GanZI, 120 now for Ensnare. This is pretty ugly. Ensnare has been beaten down. When he moved out, he was punished. Now he's taken so many hits inside of his base. GanZI with a fourth base coming up and an army moving southward. And I think the response for GanZI was pretty easy this game, Artos. I think he just decided to make Marauders. Ensnare has continued to expose himself too much because mech is only strong when you have enough of it. And I would say we're going to see GG very soon here.
Well, I think you're right, Tasteless. This planetary fortress just will not die.
Actually,
and it does, in fact, go down.
See you in planetary fortress hell.
He's going to be almost alone there, Tasteless. Those things do not die, man.
Yeah, I know.
Those things are like the bristlecone pines of the
one thing's for sure is whenever
center world.
One thing's for sure is all planetary fortresses do go to hell when they die. That's for sure.
Oh, for sure.
They are evil.
They have good intentions, but that's what they say, Tasteless. The road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Paved with good intentions, that's right. All right, Stim, and we're going to have a flank here. Actually, a sandwich here. And that's it, GG. All right. Ensnare totally deserved to lose that.
Yeah, you know, he broke every rule of mech. Mech is actually, I mean, you can max out with mech so easily. You can actually, you turtle, and then you take a third base, you turtle even harder.
Yeah.
And then you max out with some amount of upgrades, some Vikings mixed in.
You make
and
some
if they're doing
towers,
a siege tank contain, you have 2-3 Ravens. And there you go. But, I mean, he just kept walking out in the middle of the map. And if you do that, you're going to lose every single time.
Yeah, I mean, he totally deserved that loss. He totally 100% deserved that loss. Some of these pro gamers, I don't know when they're going to learn because it's pretty clear at this point in time, mech is strong, but you have to do it right. And, you know, having 6 tanks and like 8 Hellions and moving out, what are you going to do if he has Marauders?
It's just,
if he has Marauders, you're just like, LOL, and he kills
them. Looking at it at a very logical, analytical pro gamer standpoint, I look at those numbers of units that he has on that bridge, and I could just ask like 1,000 questions, like, why are these here? What about this number? Where did you reach this number? Why are these? When in your practice did you hit this number or this number on this bridge? Right now, with what's happened in this game, is a good idea. None of those points will be defensible. He's playing wrong.
Here's the simple way to put it: is if you have imagine 4 tanks in siege mode, how much damage they can do in the increments in which they fire. Now imagine 15 siege tanks in siege mode. Now imagine an army running at that.
Exponentially more powerful.
It was an army runs towards that. A third of it dies after the first volley, and by the second volley, it's down to a fourth of what its initial size was. So that's why you want to stockpile siege tanks. Wait, be patient, just push out enough to get a third base. All right, enough about this. On to the next game. Here is our Zerg, our very, very young Zerg player.
He's a youngin'. Leenock, a great player. 1-7-7-4.
He's had some of the worst luck in GSL history.
He's not a lucky guy.
No, he's had some of the hardest opponents. So
you know what? That's how you build character, Tasteless.
It is. It's good he's starting at a young age too, because frankly, experience always outweighs talent, in my opinion. And the more experience he has, the better he's going to get.
Thank you for saying such, Tasteless. People label talent on all sorts of stupid stuff. You know how all these programmers got talent? Through practice.
Through practice. That's how you do it. But he's up against a pretty scary opponent as well. Polt, formerly known as Optimus Prime, then formerly known as Polt.
Then formerly known as Optimus Prime, then formerly known as... And now known as Polt again.
Because he's gone back and forth. Ranked 4th here. I actually did not realize Polt was ranked that high.
Yeah, he's been kicking ass.
Polt is really good, guys. He's got a kind of unique style, as Artosa said correctly. Very micro-based player.
Yeah. He, that's one of the reasons he's so good against Protoss, is he defends every crazy attack they do, and then he picks them apart with drops and just microing around the Protoss death ball.
So, the map will be Calm Before the Storm. Excuse me. Calm Before the Storm. And this is going to be a fun little game. I think Polt, on paper, is the favorite, but then again, Leenock is very, very good.
Yeah.
By the way, if you noticed on Polt's shoulder, he is sponsored by thehandsomernerd.com. Now, Team TSL.
We'll have their jerseys up pretty soon.
Yeah, we'll have their step up.
Sorry,
we're sorry the site keeps crashing. We've just cast so many games right now, but we'll get that fixed.
Well, the Terran killer, FXO Leenock. Will the 3 Terran group be of his favor? Super Tournament champion TSL Polt. Will Group D be his revival point? This and more in the coming game.
We will see soon enough. One thing to note, Artosis, Leenock actually probably had a pretty easy time preparing for this.
Yes.
Think about it, just Terrans, whereas the Terran players had to prepare for a Zerg and a Terran. All right, it's time. Leenock throwing his mouse around, and Polt duking it out here